Coming out. Here's what they don't tell you.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hey everyone, I'm Matt Haslam and welcome to Powered and Protected by Rainbows. And on today's show, we're giving you some tips and tricks to handle the things after you come out. Here are the things that they don't tell you in any of the tutorials online. A lot of videos go into what tips and tricks there are to come out to your family initially and come out to different friends as you progress. Even we did an episode, our last episode, on that very topic. And a lot of different blogs do this entire topic as well, but no one really talks about the things after you come out. What really happens after you initially come out? And here are some of the things that happened, at least to me and a lot of the community that I know. The first on our list is instant regret of not doing it sooner. And what I mean by this is not a regret of being gay, bisexual, or whatever you are on the LGBTQ scale. It's not regret that you came out to your family at all. What I mean by this is regret of not coming out sooner, of not doing this sooner, because a lot of us come out to our family and our friends for the first time in our 20s. And unfortunately, a lot of us feel that regret of not doing this back when we were 10, 11 years old, when we first saw that initial sign that we were gay. For instance, for me, at 11 years old, I had the hugest crush on this boy in my Boy Scout troop, and I felt so in love with him that I wanted to kiss him, and I didn't understand fully why. But now I can kind of look back and go, yeah, that was my first real big crush in my life, because I never looked at a girl like that. And it's really hard to understand why I waited over a decade to process those feelings, why I put my business first over my personal life, my personal feelings for so long that I forgot that, yeah, I can live too. And it's hard to really understand just how much regret you feel deep down inside of not doing this sooner unless you've gone through it. So one of the things that I try to hopefully prepare you for here is the fact that you're going to have regret of not doing it sooner. That doesn't mean you should rush coming out if you're not in a safe spot to do that, but know that no matter when you come out, you're going to feel that a little bit. For instance, when I went to my first ever Pride event in Washington, D.C., I saw a lot of 14, 15-year-old kids there, and they weren't just there because their parents were gay or whatever. There were honestly kids there that were, 13, 14 years old that had shirts on that I'm gay and I'm proud, and their parents had shirts on that were like, my son or my daughter is gay and I'm proud, or my daughter is trans and I'm proud. It was wonderful to see that, but at the same time, I literally went back to my hotel room that night and bawled my eyes out because I wasn't that kid. I couldn't be that kid at 13 or 14 to finally know who I was. I had to wait over a decade later to really live freely. And you're going to unfortunately feel that regret if you come out later in life. But again, that does not mean you should feel pressured to come out sooner than when you are actually ready. The next thing on the list is your family and your friends are going to have to put up with your little quirks for a little bit. And there are a lot of them when you come out. First off, you're going to be dating a lot more, so you're going to have highs and lows. You're going to have days when you feel great of, oh, this boy said that I'm really cute, and then you're going to have those days that, oh, that boy stood me up on that date. And your family and your friends are going to have to put up with that roller coaster that is the dating scene. And unfortunately, they're just going to have to go with it and love and accept you through all of it. And there's really no way to get past that for your family and friends. So sorry, Charlie, you're just going to have to deal with it if you're around us during those times. But a lot of times we're making a lot more sexual references in our jokes as well. We're not necessarily meaning to say things in a more kind of sexual tone, but unfortunately that's how it goes when you finally are free to express yourself. Your mind doesn't really know you're doing it, but you're wording things in a more sexual way. You're wording things in a more kind of hinted way of what you really want. For instance, for me, it was really weird because my family and my friends all went out for like hot dogs one day, and I just started to chuckle a little bit, and I didn't realize I was doing it, and they just had to put up with that side of me for a little bit to kind of get over that initial phase of, wow, I'm free now, and I can make a joke or two and say that's what he said instead of saying that's what she said or something. My friends and my family members were all very understanding of that, and luckily loved me through all of it. But unfortunately, you're going to have that point in your life where you just make more references. The next thing on our list kind of ties in with that very heavily, and that's the fact that you're more sexually active or wanting to be more sexually active. And I know this is a very touchy subject on especially this channel where I try to be more family friendly, but it's true. When you initially come out, no matter what age you are, it doesn't matter if you're 14 or 15 or if you're 80 or 90, you're still going to have that initial phase of wanting certain things in your life more than you did the day before you came out. And so what we see a lot in the gay community is people on apps like Grindr wanting hookups or just things in a parking lot or something stupid like that. And I've never went for one of those. It's true. I'm not like most gay people. The gay community and the LGBTQ community in general get blamed for that whole phase of our lives. They get blamed for wanting hookups more than they want actual relationships. And yeah, that's true for a little while after you come out, but it doesn't necessarily, first off, apply to everyone in the community. And secondly, it's for a very good reason, because we're finally free to be who we are. And now we want to try everything. We want to kind of have our cake and eat it too. It's hard to finally be that kid in the candy shop without wanting, all the lollipops and the, gummy bears and everything on the list. It's hard to be that kid and not want everything on the list. So for us being gay, and finally coming out, it's sort of like the kid in the candy shop. You're going to want certain things, unfortunately. And for a short time there, you either have to just control those feelings or you have to give in but be safe about it. And there are tons of great resources to be safe on those things, in those situations. Don't go out with someone in a very private setting. Make sure you meet them in a public area. That way you're safe, so on and so forth. Use protection, all that kind of stuff. There are things I can say on that topic, but I'm not going to because it is a family-friendly show here. But know that there are other resources for that, and I will try my best to leave a link to one of those lists below. That way you can see different tips on that. But you're going to have that phase, and know that it's completely normal to be more sexually minded for a little bit and to want certain things, and that's perfectly fine. It's sort of like when you get into a new relationship. You want certain things more, but you have to control yourself a little bit there to kind of build the foundation of your relationship first, and it's important to do that as well. I know, at least in my situation, there were a lot of people on the same app I was on Grindr, and which is a gay dating app, but not everyone on there is looking for a hookup, but there were a lot that were, and it was very important to me to kind of figure out who wanted just one thing and who wanted a real relationship before I really got my heart set on someone. And for me, it was a very hard distinction between those two communities on the same app. But it's kind of easy to tell what someone wants after a little bit of a conversation. So have a conversation with someone and know what they want. But when you first come out, maybe you're one of those people that want that certain thing, but you also want a relationship. So open yourself up to that a little bit, but also at the same time know how to control those feelings just a little bit, and kind of tone down your own emotions on that spectrum. And that way, maybe you could find someone that is more in to it for the relationship side of things like I did. And on that note, I've never met anyone on Grindr that hasn't wanted a real relationship going forward. And also, it's important, if you don't want that, to tell them up front, hey, no anything touching on the first date, maybe a kiss, but that's it. Make sure you tell them that before you meet them, because that way you're kind of having that litmus paper test for them of, do they want this or do they want a relationship? And, unfortunately, you just have to either power through that whole phase in your life where you want certain things more because now you're free to have them, or you have to give in to those feelings, which is perfectly fine for anyone to do. I'm not judging anyone else out there based on what I personally decided and in not going for those feelings, but I know how hard it is to try to get past those feelings as well. But on that, make sure you know how to be safe. Our final note on this list, at least, there are plenty more I can mention here, but as far as this list is concerned for time, the last one I will mention is the fact that know that everything eventually becomes normal. Your hormones kind of die down a little bit and become a little bit more normalized, and you start to really try to find relationships in this LGBTQ community, and you don't make nearly as many sexual references in your jokes anymore, and your family starts to notice you're more normal now, of at least those kind of hormones have calmed down a little bit, and you're not making everything into a sex joke. Know that eventually everything just becomes calm. And at least for me, the situation was, after a while of being with my boyfriend here, I can just mention to a person that I've never really talked to a whole lot before, who maybe doesn't know I'm gay. I can mention to a new friend of mine, hey, my boyfriend and I are going out to whatever restaurant tomorrow, and it's like nothing really ever happened with coming out. I don't necessarily have to make a big deal of coming out to every single person anymore. Now it's just, yeah, so what? My boyfriend and I are going out, It's just as like I was saying, as if I was saying my girlfriend and I are going out. It's all normalized after a while. It's all very calm after a while, where you don't have to feel like you need this big, grandiose way to come out to people. It's just casual stuff. So know that happens too. Know that after a while things just in life become normal here, where my boyfriend and I have gone on a date and we can hold hands, but we don't always have to hold hands. And that's kind of goes into the whole thing of, it calms down after a while of, now we can be together, but we don't always have to be holding hands to show everyone that we're together. Just like a straight couple wouldn't always hold hands either. We can sit across the table at dinner and not necessarily make out 24/7, and we can just be a normal couple. And that's important to note here too, because when you're out and about, you can be who you want to be. It doesn't mean you have to be clinging onto each other 24/7 on a date. When we're alone, we can cuddle and stuff like that, and that's completely fine. But when we're out and about, we don't always have to be cuddling or whatever. But also on that note, a lot of times when other people are kind of bigots in our face and look at us weird, we can also still kiss right in front of that person, and it's basically like the biggest middle finger we can give to them of, you know what, if you're going to be a bigot, we can be much more in your face than what we are. So know that it gets normal, but you still have the power to kind of, show some people up and be who you are freely now in the world. If you want some tips to come out to your family and friends, I've done a video on that already, and I will leave a link in the description box below to that video. That way you can see that as well. And tips and tricks to initially come out. This video is kind of to prepare you after you come out of what to expect for the most part after you initially come out to the first couple people. So thank you all for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you really like this video, please do hit that subscribe button for plenty more gay content to come in the future. This is actually the last episode of 2018, and I want to thank you guys for all the love and support on this channel and our entire MHP TV channels in general. Thank you so much for the wonderful year that we've had. This show is renewed for 2019, so we will be coming back sometime in 2019, and we'll be also releasing that information on our Facebook page, so be sure to go over there and like that page as well so you can be notified of any updates we have of when we're coming back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, love is love, and see us next time. Bye for now. If you like this show, want to support what we do, and get this awesome t-shirt in the process, please use the link on your screen right now or in the description box below to get your t-shirt right now.